A war. It's a word that evokes images of destruction, suffering, and loss. Throughout human history, war has been a constant. It has shaped civilizations, toppled empires, and redefined the course of history. From ancient times to the modern era, the clang of swords, the roar of cannons, and the terrifying power of modern weaponry have left an indelible mark on humanity. This essay explores the grim history of war. We will journey through major conflicts, from ancient battles to modern warfare. We will examine the causes and consequences of these conflicts. Most importantly, we will remember the human cost, the countless lives lost, and the enduring impact on survivors. War, in all its forms, is a tragedy. It's a testament to the human capacity for both great violence and extraordinary resilience. By understanding the history of war, we can hopefully strive for a future where peace prevails. Let us begin our journey through the annals of history, exploring the battles and conflicts that have shaped our world. We must remember those who fought, those who perished, and those forever scarred by the horrors of war. Their stories deserve to be told, and their sacrifices must never be forgotten. The path to peace lies in understanding the mistakes of the past and striving for a better future. Ancient civilizations, though separated by time and distance, shared a common experience: war. From the fertile valleys of Mesopotamia to the sun-drenched plains of Greece, conflict was a recurring theme. Let's delve into two significant conflicts of the ancient world: the Battle of Kadesh and the Peloponnesian War. Ancient warrior, the Battle of Kadesh, fought in 1274 BCE, pitted the mighty Egyptian Empire against the Hittite Empire. This clash of titans, fought near the Orontes River in modern-day Syria, was one of the largest chariot battles in history. Though militarily inconclusive, Kadesh had lasting consequences. It shifted the balance of power in the Near East and led to a peace treaty, a testament to the exhaustion of both sides. The Peloponnesian War, from 431 to 404 BCE, engulfed the Greek world in a generation-long conflict. Athens, a naval power, and Sparta, a land-based military force, locked horns in a struggle for dominance. This brutal war, marked by sieges, naval battles, and political intrigue, devastated ancient Greece. It led to the decline of Athens, the rise of Sparta, and a period of instability that paved the way for Macedonian conquest. These ancient conflicts, though separated by centuries, highlight the enduring themes of war: the quest for power, the devastation of conflict, and the fragile nature of peace. The lessons learned from Kadesh and the Peloponnesian War resonate even today, reminding us of the human cost of conflict and the importance of diplomacy. The Roman Republic, a rising power in the ancient Mediterranean, clashed with Carthage in a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars. These wars were not just battles for territory, but were also struggles for supremacy and survival. These wars, spanning over a century, would shape the destiny of Rome and the entire Mediterranean world. The stakes were incredibly high, and the outcomes of these wars would determine the future of Western civilization. The Punic Wars were a testament to Roman military might, but they also exposed the brutal realities of ancient warfare. The sheer scale of the conflicts and the devastation they caused were unprecedented in the ancient world. The First Punic War, from 264 to 241 BCE, erupted over control of Sicily. This island was strategically important, serving as a crucial point for trade and military operations in the Mediterranean. Rome, initially lacking a strong navy, adapted its tactics, building a powerful fleet that challenged Carthaginian dominance at sea. This was a significant turning point, showcasing Rome's ability to innovate and overcome its initial disadvantages. The war witnessed massive naval battles, with tens of thousands of sailors perishing in the struggle for control of the Mediterranean. These battles were not just about military might, but also about the strategic control of vital sea routes. Rome's eventual victory marked its emergence as a major naval power. This newfound naval strength would be crucial in the subsequent conflicts with Carthage. The Second Punic War, from 218 to 201 BCE, saw the legendary Carthaginian general Hannibal Barca lead his army, complete with elephants, across the Alps, invading Italy. This daring and unprecedented move struck fear into the heart of Rome. Hannibal's victories at Trebia, Trasimene, and Cannae inflicted heavy losses on the Romans. These battles showcased his tactical genius and the vulnerability of Rome despite its military prowess. However, Rome's resilience and strategic acumen ultimately prevailed. The Romans adapted their strategies, learning from their defeats and gradually turning the tide against Hannibal. The Second Punic War ended with a decisive Roman victory at Zama, securing Roman dominance over the western Mediterranean. And this victory was not just a military triumph, but also a strategic and psychological one. The Punic Wars left an indelible mark on Roman history. They were a crucible in which Rome's military and political institutions were tested and strengthened. They transformed Rome into a major Mediterranean power, but at a tremendous cost in human life. The scale of the casualties was staggering, affecting countless families and communities. The carnage of these conflicts serves as a stark reminder of the brutality of ancient warfare and the enduring human cost of conflict. The lessons of the Punic Wars resonate through history, reminding us of the high price of power and ambition. Section 4: Medieval Mayhem, Crusades and the 100 Years' War. This period was marked by intense and often violent conflicts that shaped the course of history. The Middle Ages, often romanticized as a time of chivalry and honor, were also marked by brutal conflicts. These wars were not just about knights in shining armor, but also about the harsh and grim realities of medieval warfare. Two such conflicts, the Crusades and the 100 Years' War, stand out for their profound impact on Europe and the Middle East. These wars reshaped borders, influenced cultures, and left a lasting legacy on the regions involved.
The Crusades, a series of religious wars sanctioned by the Latin Church, began in the 11th century. They were driven by a desire to reclaim the Holy Land and were seen as a divine mission by many. Motivated by a complex mix of religious fervor, political ambition, and economic opportunity, European armies embarked on expeditions to reclaim the Holy Land from Muslim control. These expeditions were marked by both zeal and brutality. The Crusades witnessed incredible brutality, with massacres and atrocities committed by both sides. The violence was often justified in the name of religion, leading to a cycle of retribution and bloodshed. While we achieved some initial successes, we ultimately failed to establish lasting control over Jerusalem. The city changed hands multiple times, reflecting the ongoing struggle and the high stakes involved.
The 100 Years' War, from 1337 to 1453, despite its name, raged for 116 years between England and France. This prolonged conflict was a defining moment in medieval history. This conflict, rooted in a power struggle for control of the French throne and territories, devastated both countries. The war led to widespread destruction, economic hardship, and significant loss of life. New technologies, such as the English longbow and the French cannon, emerged, making warfare even more deadly. These innovations changed the nature of combat and had a lasting impact on military tactics. The war witnessed iconic battles like Crécy, Poitiers, and Agincourt, where thousands perished. These battles are remembered for their strategic importance and the sheer scale of the carnage. It ended with a French victory, but not before leaving a lasting impact on the development of both nations. The war altered the political landscape and set the stage for future conflicts.
The Crusades and the 100 Years' War highlight the religious and political complexities of the medieval period. These wars were not just about territory, but also about ideology and power. They serve as sobering reminders of the destructiveness of war, even in an era often romanticized in literature and art. The devastation left behind is a testament to the human cost of these conflicts. The human cost of these conflicts, measured in countless lives lost and societies disrupted, underscores the enduring tragedy of war. The legacy of these wars is a poignant reminder of the price of conflict and the resilience of those who lived through it.
Section 5. Early modern upheaval, religious strife, and colonial expansion. The early modern period witnessed profound changes in Europe and the wider world. This era was marked by significant transformations that would shape the course of history for centuries to come. The Renaissance, the Reformation, and the Age of Exploration ushered in new ideas, technologies, and unfortunately, new conflicts. These movements brought about a wave of intellectual and cultural revival, but also sowed the seeds of discord and strife. Two major upheavals, the wars of religion and colonial wars, defined this era. These conflicts were not just limited to Europe, but had far-reaching consequences across the globe. The wars of religion, from 1524 to 1648, tore Europe apart. These wars were a series of conflicts that pitted Catholic and Protestant states against each other, leading to widespread devastation. Fueled by religious tensions between Catholics and Protestants, these conflicts were marked by extreme violence and brutality. The intensity of these wars reflected the deep-seated animosities and the struggle for religious dominance. The 30 Years' War from 1618 to 1648, one of the most destructive conflicts in European history, engulfed the Holy Roman Empire and its neighbors. This war saw numerous battles, sieges, and atrocities committed by both sides. Millions perished from violence, famine, and disease. The war left a trail of destruction, with entire regions depopulated and economies shattered. The Peace of Westphalia finally brought an end to the 30 Years' War, but not before reshaping the political landscape of Europe. This treaty laid the groundwork for the modern state system and altered the balance of power in Europe. Meanwhile, European powers embarked on voyages of exploration and conquest, leading to the era of colonialism. These expeditions were driven by a desire to find new trade routes and acquire wealth. Driven by a thirst for wealth, resources, and power, European nations established colonies in the Americas, Africa, and Asia. The colonization process was often brutal, involving the exploitation of native populations and the extraction of resources. Colonial wars, often brutal and exploitative, resulted in the subjugation of indigenous populations, the transatlantic slave trade, and the reshaping of global power dynamics. These conflicts had long-lasting impacts on the societies involved. The early modern period witnessed a confluence of factors that fueled conflict. The interplay of religious, political, and economic interests created a volatile environment. Religious intolerance, political ambition, and economic greed combined to create a volatile mix. These elements often intersected, leading to wars that were both ideological and material in nature. The human cost of these conflicts, from the battlefields of Europe to the colonized lands overseas, was staggering. The loss of life, cultural destruction, and social upheaval were immense. It's a period that reminds us of the dangers of fanaticism, the allure of power, and the enduring legacy of exploitation. The lessons from this era continue to resonate, highlighting the need for tolerance and understanding in our world today.